Tonight from Camden Yards in Baltimore, the Red Sox meet the Orioles in the start of a two-game series. This all-important road trip beginning Monday with a hold-on-to-something win in Cleveland. And with that victory, the Sox move to one game behind the Orioles and Toronto, meaning with a win and a Toronto loss to the Yankees tonight, there would be a three-way tie for first place atop the AL East. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Baltimore. I'm Dave O'Brien. Great to have you. My partner tonight is the Hall of Famer Dennis Eckersley, and Gary Striewski will join us in just a couple of moments. And the last time the Red Sox were here at Camden Yards, it played like a bandbox for Mookie Betts.
It really is. This is where it took off for him. Everybody the whole baseball world saw Mookie Betts. Not that they didn't hear about him, but those 3 home runs the first night. And it's what's incredible about it. He put a charge into every one of them. He was leading off. He had couple home runs before he got up to his third at bat, but the opposite field home runs that he hit was something that he really hadn't done up to that point. He hit 2 balls the other way, but 5 home runs in 2 games. He's put a hurting on the Orioles. You see right down there, 10 games, 6 home runs. But look what he's been doing recently. Recently, he's been hitting 3rd and 4th in the lineup, and that's why. I mean, this is what he does. 3 home runs the other day. This has become norm for him. I mean, he's leading the world in almost everything. He's having an MVP kind of year right now, and hopefully it continues again here in Baltimore.
All right, he has switched places, of course. No longer the leadoff man. That is up to Dustin Pedroia, who is quietly having an outstanding season. Not a lot of fanfare around Pedroia, but of course a 5-hit game recently, coming off a couple of hits yesterday in Cleveland. It's game 1, the Red Sox and the Orioles. First of 2 coming up in Baltimore. BuyAToyota.com, Toyota's website for deals. By Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. The 2017 Kia Sportage. Visit anykiadealers.com to learn more. DraftKings, the official one-day fantasy baseball partner of your Boston Red Sox. Subaru, retailers of New England. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. A steamy night here in Baltimore, Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Great to have you along. Dave O'Brien, Dennis Eckersley, we bring in Gary Striewski. Gary, you caught up with David Ortiz about coming down the stretch now, 45 games left in the regular season for David.
Exactly. You know, sometimes there'll be you wake up and have realizations, and that was mine this morning. Like, holy smokes, here we are 110, 115 games into the season, so 45 more times, like you mentioned, will we see Big Papi in the regular season. And if you think the grind of April to hopefully deep into October grind is lost on Big Papi, it's not.
It's closing up, and, you know, right now in my mind, all I think about is just, you know, play better so we can be in the playoff and do something special once again this year. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, this is what I know. I live for this.
And, you know, I guess it's our job and part of the rhetoric that every single game, every single series is huge. But, Obi, across the board, these two games in Baltimore can go a long way in deciding whether or not that 45 games will expand to hopefully 50, 60 games deep into October.
Exactly right, Gary. And everyone's been talking about that inside the Red Sox clubhouse on this road trip, how meaningful each and every game has become. The Red Sox lineup now brought to you by BuyAToyota.com. Toyota's website for deals. It'll be Dustin Pedroia to lead things off. He'll be followed by Xander Bogaerts and David Ortiz. Mookie Betts the cleanup man. Jackie Bradley in center field. Sandy Leon is catching and batting sixth. Travis Shaw at first base. Brock Holt is in there at third. That's a late change. And Benintendi is in left field and the number 9 hitter. All up against the right-hander Yovani Gallardo, who is 4-4, a 5.17 ERA. He pitched the Red Sox home opener at Fenway for Baltimore back on April 11th.
The Orioles defense is brought to you by DraftKings. The Orioles are second in the American League in defense. Machado at third, J.J. Hardy at second, Scope at second, Steve Pearce at first. Out in the outfield, Reinhold in left, Jones in center, Davis in right. Behind the plate, Wieters catching Gallardo.
The umpires brought to you by ToyotaCertified.com. Dustin Pedroia about to dig in with the man behind the plate, Phil Cuzzi. Adam Hamari at first base, Tom Hallion at second, and Dan Bellino at third. And we're available. This telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your TV remote. SAP presented by ToyotaCertified.com. Search for your factory-backed Toyota Certified used vehicle right now. And Gallardo about to uncork the first one tonight on a very warm evening here. Pedroia 308, 12 homers, 53 runs batted in. And 7 hits in his last 11 at bats. So he's been cooking. And that'll be a ball.
Just not the same Gallardo that he was several years ago with Milwaukee. This year he missed a couple of months in the season with a bad shoulder, but you see, not a lot of fastballs. Used to throw the ball hard, but he's going to be nibbling inside and out.
Yeah, the walks are up. That's been a real problem for him. 41 of them in 78 and a third innings. 2-2 lifetime against the Red Sox, a 5.26 ERA, so they have hit him effectively. Right to the shortstop, and Hardy digs it. They have really wet down this infield.
Yeah, it looks soaking wet, to be honest with you. You see it. You can see it right there. A little glaze on the top.
May happen naturally tonight, with the forecast calling for some hit and miss showers. 1 man away for Xander Bogaerts. Batting average is down to .312. We say down to .312. Red Sox are 2-3-4 and 10th in the American League batting race. But Xander's has been dragging down here in the last few weeks. He's been fighting to find his stroke over the last 18 games since the start of the previous 11-game road trip. He's gone 13 for 66. That's under 200.
This goes to show you what he was hitting before that, but defensively it hasn't affected him at all. Yesterday he made a great play up the middle. Threw out Lindor, I think it was. It's just a great play. He needed it badly. 1-run game.
1-1 chop foul. David Ortiz on deck. Red Sox coming in with a 4-game winning streak. They are 4-6 this season against Baltimore. So after tonight, the Sox have 8 left with them, including a 4-game series here September 19th through the 22nd. Hits softly on one bounce to Machado, who will sling it on to get him. And there are 2 down for the Sox, and Big Papi coming up.
Boy, he got in his kitchen big time. You don't see that happen too often. That's with like an 87-mile-an-hour fastball right in his hands.
So Ortiz to bat for the first time tonight, stepping in at 312, 27 homers. Hit a bomb yesterday in Cleveland, driven in 92 runs. That was a big win for the Red Sox yesterday.
He was so mad after he was a double play ball he hit into, and he in the dugout before that he was going crazy. And the next time up, first pitch, 440 something feet.
The overshift on for Ortiz with 2 down, and he takes ball 1. That home run for David, number 530. And one of them has come against Yovani Gallardo. The 1-0. He drops in a strike.
He's got that little curve ball. His ball sinks a little bit. He hasn't got much. A little changeup. He knows how to pitch. He doesn't really want to challenge anybody in particular.
He used to throw very hard.
Oh yeah, he did. He's been in the big league since he was 20.
No longer the case. The 1-1. Back to his home run cut yesterday for number 27.
Oh hello, look at this. This is an absolute blast. Tomlin throws him a piece of, well, a cookie. How about that? And he just deposits it way back.
Red Sox got all 3 of their runs in that 6th inning as that darts in there for a strike, and it has begun to rain here in Baltimore. Not unexpected tonight. The good thing about Maryland is usually they sweep in and sweep out these showers pretty quickly.
Yeah, it doesn't look that dark.
Check swing, and that one just missed. And the count is 3-2 on Ortiz. Mookie Betts would hit next.
This ball looked high when I first saw it. High and outside. Little backdoor breaking ball coming up.
The payoff pitch. And it is outside, and he walks it. So Ortiz will take his base, and Mookie Betts, who loves to hit here. Well, who doesn't? Coming up next.
Well, he tries to paint here at outside corner with a little breaking ball. Didn't break much, and that's why it didn't hit the outside corner.
Fans, be sure to stop by Plain Ridge Park Casino. Plain Ridge Park Casino is the official sponsor of winning. Just a light shower at the moment. Betts hitting .313, 26 home runs, 84 RBIs. He was unstoppable last time he appeared in this ballpark. 5 home runs over 2 games.
He couldn't keep a smile off his face last time he was here, and then when he did it the other day, the 3 home runs, it was like, oh, home, wasn't it?
Well, he had already done it.
Yeah, he'd already done it.
No big deal.
Been there, done that.
He is knocking the Orioles all over the place this season. This one a gentle ground ball to short. Hardy goes to second, and that will retire the side. Nothing doing here for the Red Sox in the first inning in Baltimore of Game 1. Chevy dealers. It'll be Adam Jones to lead off in center. Jonathan Schoop, power hitting second baseman, followed by Manny Machado at third. Trumbo's hit 34 home runs. Pierce at first base. Chris Davis in right field. Matt Wieters does the catching. J.J. Hardy at short. Nolan Reimold in left field, a number 9 man. Against the left-hander Eduardo Rodriguez, 2-5, a 5.43 ERA. Was signed and developed by Baltimore. Never pitched for the Orioles before he was dealt to the Red Sox for Andrew Miller in 2014. Presented by New England Audi dealers.
You know, he's pitched well since he's come off the deal, or since he's come back from Pawtucket. I wasn't quite sure what we were gonna get, but he really has been consistent. ERA under 3, 6 starts.
Here's Jones at 276 with power, 23 home runs. He's led off 3 games with a home run. He is 4 for 11 against Rodriguez in his career. And a 23-year-old from Venezuela with the 1-0 and knocked foul out of play.
You know, I wasn't sure how long they were going to keep him, Jones, at first. You know, first in the lineup. He'd been hitting third for them for so many years. I thought he was going bad. They just put him at the leadoff spot and see how he can get his act together. Well, they kept him there all year.
Not your typical leadoff guy because he doesn't run a ton. But the Orioles don't run at all.
So they can't have anybody lead off because nobody runs.
14 stolen bases as a team.
That's unbelievable.
This season.
Really is.
That's dead last in the majors, obviously. Red Sox, by comparison, have 65. So they are certainly a 3-run homer team under Buck Showalter. And a 1-2. Fly into center field. Charging in now, Bradley, and Jackie there to make the play.
Yeah, the Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They're 6th in the American League in defense. Around the infield, Brock Holt at third, Bogey at short, Petey at second, Travis Shaw at first. Out in the outfield, Benintendi in left, Jackie Bradley Jr. in center, Mookie Betts in right. Behind the plate, Sandy Leon catching Eduardo Rodriguez.
Who will go after the second baseman, Jonathan Schoop, who is a power source as a second baseman. He's hit 18 homers, batting .282.
Well, I'll tell you, this kid here, Schoop, is a monster. I mean, he's a second baseman. Look how big this kid is, and he's having a great year. Hit a big home run for them on Sunday in San Francisco. They're down 7-1, came back 8-7 with a 3-run bomb he hit.
Yeah, that was in the 9th inning with 2 down. He's had a lot of big hits for them this season. Machado on deck. The Orioles were off on Monday following that 10-game 3-city road trip. They went 5-5 on it to Chicago, Oakland, and San Francisco. Ending that trip with that dramatic victory that Eck was just talking about, 8-7 over the Giants. He chased that one up and away, and down he goes for strike 3. First K in the book for Erod. Time for our twisted but true fact now. Jonathan Schoop is the only player in the majors to play every inning and each out of his team's games this season. Twisted tea, the hard iced tea that tastes like real iced tea. Be a little twisted. He fans Machado next at 305, 26 homers, 69 driven in. He's 10th in the American League in home runs. No score here in the first inning, just getting started. Quick 2-game stop here for the Red Sox. Then it is on to Detroit. There's a big article in USA Today this morning about the Red Sox road trip and how unusual it is, especially with that day game on Thursday.
So they made a big deal out of that day game on Thursday, huh?
Huge.
It shouldn't happen.
Dave Dombrowski and the Red Sox asked Major League Baseball to move it to the nighttime. They said no. Tigers wouldn't do it. MLB wouldn't do it. And the Red Sox said thank you very much.
What is it, Grandparents' Day? What? Something. Is that? I hear everything. You don't know if it's true or not. They're kidding.
It is actually.
Yes. And then the Lions are playing later on that evening.
That's correct. The 2-0 missing inside on Machado. Trumbo on deck. Red Sox are going to get in about 2:30 in the morning and play a 1 o'clock game.
Have a nice day.
And the former Oriole farmhand with a 3-0 pitch, and he green lights and pops it foul back out of play. Machado's having a very good season, but for a couple of months he was being touted as an MVP candidate.
You see him smiling right there, huh? He just crowded him 4 times in a row, thinking he was going to get a cookie, and he threw it again inside.
He has a 5-game hitting streak. You don't hear many people talking about him now as an MVP candidate necessarily. 3-1. Foul out of play to the right. Still grinning there.
Still grinning there. I don't like when guys are grinning at me. You know what I mean? I just don't. I'd rather have them mad. But he gets a fastball, what, 95-mile-an-hour fastball up out of the zone, and he's hacking, man. He must know Erod.
Of course, Erod has had those issues with tipping pitches. Here's the 3-2. And he pops him up back toward the netting. Leon looks like he may have room, and he does. He makes the play after flipping the mask. And Rodriguez smiling back at Machado.
They got something going on.
1, 2, 3 go the Orioles. Top half of the second inning, no score in Baltimore. Dave O'Brien and Dennis Eckersley with you. Jackie Bradley taking ball 1. He'll be followed by Leon and then Shaw against Giovanni Gallardo, the 30-year-old from Mexico. Jackie 284, 19 home runs. He blasted one yesterday in Cleveland.
And the day before.
He did, back-to-back games. On Sunday, a shot off the pesky pole. 2 for 4 yesterday. And fouled back. Last time these two clubs met, the Red Sox hit 13 home runs in 4 games, tying for the franchise third most homers in a series of any length against any opponent. And the 2-1. Foul tipped into the mitt to make it 2-2.
I'll tell you, Jackie doesn't get cheated, does he? I mean, he's got a big swing. Talk about him not breaking any bats, right? I mean, it's hard to get in his kitchen when he's swinging like that.
2-2 on the way and up top. Now, I talked to Jackie about that because it's out there that he hasn't broken a bat all season long.
What do you say?
He said, well, as far as anybody knows, that's true.
I was going to say, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
Even at the end of the bat, you break your bat.
It's incredible if it's true. Ground ball to second base, and Schoop there to throw on to get him. One man gone in the second. Wednesday, August 31 is Lego Day at Fenway. With the purchase of a game ticket, fans receive a limited edition Red Sox themed player made with Lego bricks. Additionally, you'll be granted access to the kids concourse before the game for a special experience. Tickets are limited. Go to redsox.com/Lego to get yours today. Sandy León flipping the mask, which he's done a couple of times, and had it caught by the umpire.
That was very casual,
by
wasn't it?
Phil Cuzzi, yeah.
I think he's done it before.
In there for a strike on Sandy. Hitting .389 with 5 home runs, still rolling along.
Should be hitting 6th, huh? About time they moved him up.
Originally in this lineup, he was hitting 8th, but Aaron Hill was a late scratch. And so Brock Holt went into the game to play third base. He took over the 8th slot. Sandy moved up to the 6th position. And the 1-1 from Gallardo. Outside. Sandy with a 5-game hitting streak coming in. No signs of slowing down, and they have an Ortiz kind of shift on him, hitting from this side of the plate as he takes a ball.
Pretty good pitch right there. I got to have that. It's a little cutter. Top of the strike zone. Ball might have been inside. I don't know.
The 3-1. And he walks him. So he's already walked 2 men. And as we mentioned when we came on the air tonight, that's been an issue for him. Ball 4.
Well, he's not going to go challenge anybody with the stuff he's got right now in his career. It reminds me a lot of Dennis Martinez, the pitcher that used to be with the Orioles years ago.
El Presidente.
El Presidente. Same kind of motion.
It'll set up Travis Shaw, 253, 14 home runs, 58 runs batted in. He's been playing first base with Hanley Ramirez out. Hanley will be on a plane on Wednesday back from the Dominican Republic and will be rejoining the Red Sox in Detroit in time for Thursday's game, from what we're told. He's on bereavement leave.
And he was hot right before he left. 2 3-run bombs he hit that day.
Well, Travis Shaw is due to bust out. He snapped an 0 for 19 skid with that 9th inning double yesterday at Cleveland.
You know, it's not like he's up there just trying to pull everything. In fact, yesterday that double hit right down the left field line. But a lot of pop-ups recently. That high fastball gets him.
León aboard with 1 out. 0-0 game here in the second in Baltimore. The check swing foul, and now the sun is out after a very brief light shower. Not raining any longer. The sun smashing into the warehouse right across Utah. And of course, many Red Sox fans in attendance. In the summertime, that's always the case here in Baltimore. 1-2. Foul that one away off himself. So Travis in a little bit of pain here after that foul ball.
It's a good pitch there by Gallardo. He don't want to miss out over the plate. He gets this ball up and in, ties him up. You see so many balls hit off their, you know, hitters' feet, ankles, shins, whatever. Happens all the time. What do you think it happens to more, left-handed hitters or right-handed hitters?
Seems to be lefties to me. And in his case, remember a couple of weeks ago, he just destroyed that shin. They had to take x-rays on it. And he's not ready to continue here. Here comes John Farrell with a trainer.
Probably hit the same spot.
Yeah, not composed enough to get back in there.
You got to go up there like a catcher with the shin guards and everything so you don't get crushed. Here we go. Over the top of it, straight down into that shin. I don't know what that feels like. Is it knee or shin? Whatever. Never happened to me.
Would you hit 3 home runs in your day?
Well, it has nothing to do with that, but I never fouled the ball off my shin.
I want to give you a little chance to brag about your hitting prowess.
It wasn't all that great, but I did go yard just to stay in shape.
3 times ain't bad.
It's not bad. This is a good ballpark to go yard, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Just 318 down the right field line. He will continue. Tune in to NESN August 29th and 30th for coverage of the WEEI NESN Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon presented by Arbella Insurance Foundation. Arbella Insurance Foundation, here for the Jimmy Fund, here for good. Red Sox with a runner at first base and 1 down. 1-2 the count on Travis Shaw, who started his career 1 for 26 against Baltimore. Hot shot snagged by Pierce into second, got 1 back to first in time for the double play, and that'll do it for the Red Sox.
That was a bullet.
Got to Pierce in a hurry and an easy double play. The best seats, price, and benefits Fenway has to offer, including potential postseason opportunities. For information on becoming a season ticket holder, just visit redsox.com/season tickets or call 877-Red Sox 9 today. 0-0 as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Trumbo, Pierce, and Davis up against Erod. Rodriguez 2 and 5 coming in. Probably just needs to envision every opponent in pinstripes and he'll be fine.
Oh my goodness, it's unbelievable what he's done against the Yankees. Came out of the gate against the Yankees, right? Pitched 7 innings.
Yes.
After he came up from Pawtucket.
Trumbo, a tough guy to keep in the ballpark. 34 home runs. That is #1 in the majors. The Orioles lead Major League Baseball with 176 homers.
Boy, they hit the jackpot with this guy signing him. Hadn't hit more than 30 home runs since 2013.
He looks at a strike. An all-star this year, second time in his career. He hit 28 of those before the all-star break. And the 2-1. Breaking ball fought off foul at the plate. Yeah, Rodriguez coming off an outstanding start against the Yankees once again, although he had no decision. And the Red Sox actually lost the game 4-2, but he went 7. He only allowed 3 hits and 1 run. He walked just 1. He struck out 6.
They haven't really scored him a whole lot of runs compared to the other starters.
The 2-2 and a full count on Trumbo. Rodriguez with just 1 win in his last 6 starts, despite a 2.80 ERA. Slap foul in and out of the Red Sox dugout.
Oh, good pitch right there. 3-2 slider, cutter, whatever. A pitch that he didn't use a lot, and we've seen a lot more of it lately. See him cut this thing. More of a slider because it's got more break on it. Looking fastball, doesn't get it.
The 3-2 in there for strike 3, right at the bottom of the zone at 94. Well, Trumbo may go back and look at that and realize he does not have much of an argument on this.
This is a beautiful pitch. After that cutter, he's looking to throw it down and away. He throws it down middle. Bottom of the strike zone. Absolutely was a strike. Froze him.
Second strikeout for Rodriguez will send up Steve Pearce, the first baseman. Now, there's a lot of chatter today about the Red Sox interest in free agent Jonathan Papelbon. And John Farrell, the Red Sox skipper, has done a little recruiting. He has personally called Pap to inquire about his interest, and depending on who you're reading right now, it may be between the Red Sox and the Cubs.
I mean, it's not out of the realm for him to come here, and it's not really that bad an idea. I mean, obviously he knows he's not going to close. He's not closing where he is.
Ground ball right to Xander Bogaerts, and that's the second out. So you're for the idea?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, he's not throwing. Obviously he's not throwing like he used to. I mean, he used to throw 95 miles an hour, and now he's throwing 90. But he knows how to pitch, and he got lit up about 3 times in a row. The last 3 times he's gone out there. So I don't know. I think it shakes things up. I really do. I mean,
like that idea of it being a bit of a spark?
Yes.
A little bit of an edge in that clubhouse?
I really do. I mean, I think he'll be on his P's and Q's. He's not going to be the old Papelbon. I mean, he's smart enough to know what his position would be to come here. But I think he loves these Red Sox fans, and it would give it, it would fire him up to come back. And I think it's not a bad idea.
I think a lot of folks in the organization agree with you on this. Dave Dombrowski has expressed interest publicly, and everyone can do that because Papelbon's a free agent.
Well, you got Tazawa out there. I mean, he's not, you're kind of afraid of Tazawa, right? Because you're not sure if he's strong enough to go to like you want to the last 6 weeks of the season.
Well, I wonder if there's a dead arm thing going on with him.
Yeah,
right
you
now.
wonder.
Davis, the batter, 220, 24 home runs, however. And that'll be inside to make it 2-1. Bases are empty, and we're scoreless in the second. So we'll see what happens. It feels like it's going to come very quickly, a decision by Papelbon within the next 24 or so.
He will tone that act down. There's no doubt in my mind.
2-1 to Davis.
If I was him, I'd come. If it was me, I would come back.
Now, I've seen some of the comments by our old friend John Lester. He's doing some recruiting.
Oh, sure he is.
Saying how excited he would be to have Papelbon join the Cubs, and he's a great teammate, and it would be a wonderful move for Chicago.
Well, they're a lock to get in the playoffs. You know that.
Big swing and a miss by Davis, who of course strikes out a lot. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
That was a nice changeup. 3-1. That was an unusual pitch. Look at this 3-1 changeup. Down middle. He's out front. I mean, ooh.
That's confidence.
What is that? That's like pitching.
Missed with that one, according to Cuzzy, though, although it could have been a strike. And he walks Davis. Very close. Borderline pitch.
Yeah, fastball up out of the zone. He's trying to throw it down and away. He throws it up. Might have been a strike. Not out of the question.
Hey, this summer, pump up the fun with Irving Oil's $5 million giveaway. 3 ways to play. You can drive away with a Ford Escape, $5,000 in cash, or the grand prize of $100,000. Get your game ticket at Irving Oil today. So that's the first base run of the ball game for the Orioles, and sends up Matt Wieters, the switch hitting catcher. It's a high fly to left field, driving back Benintendi, but plenty of room there. And 1 man left, and we have scoreless after 2 here in Baltimore. The 86 Sox, game number 118. The Red Sox beat the Twins 3-1. Rich Gedman with a 2-run homer. Tom Seaver got the win for the Red Sox.
I don't remember him pitching that much that year.
He loved Boston, by the way. He loved pitching for the Red Sox.
And then he was done, right? That was it.
Brock Holt grounds one to the second baseman. And Schoop throws him out. On one pitch, he's retired. Brock playing third base tonight. That'll send up Benintendi. Red Sox not getting very good swings so far against Gallardo. CBS Health is a proud supporter of Stand Up to Cancer. We invite you to share your hashtag reasons to stand up by posting a photo or video of why you stand up to cancer and tag at CBS in action.
I'll tell you what, though, last inning, Shaw hit a bullet to Pierce. He made it look easy, turned the double play. That ball's down the line. That's trouble.
Hit it right at him. Benintendi 351, no homers yet. Might this be the place where he celebrates that first major league home run here at Camden Yards? Scoreless into the third inning. And a strike.
Gallardo's not exactly bringing it. 90 miles an hour. Looks very, very hittable. Although he's been in and out, he hasn't been right down the middle.
Is 1-1. Right back to the pitcher. 2 down. He's a former National League All-Star. He was a late addition to the Baltimore staff. They signed him as a free agent right at the end of February. Then he got hurt in late April. He had about a shoulder tendonitis and he missed about 2 months. But back in the fold here.
He was waiting to get like a 4-year deal for probably $50 million. But it took forever. Had a decent season with Texas last year. Won 13 games for them. But at one point, he was one of the best pitchers in the National League when he was with Milwaukee. Strikeout guy.
Went 17-10 1 year in 2011. In there for a strike on Dustin Pedroia. His second look at Gallardo tonight. Went 16-9 in 2012. Last year, as X said, 13 wins, a 3.42 ERA with Texas. He did just fine.
You look at his stuff. I mean, his fastball 90. It kind of sinks it a little bit sometimes. You see a little curveball that's slower, slider, cutter, a little changeup. Nothing fancy.
The 1-1 will be inside. Pedroia has liked seeing him in the past. 6 for 15 off Gallardo coming into play tonight. In that leadoff spot, he has been on fire. The 2-1. Got a piece of that.
Just a little cutter. Gets him off the end of the bat. We saw Tomlin yesterday, not with much. Shut us out for what, 5 innings. I thought, oh my goodness, this is going to be incredible if this guy keeps doing it. And finally got a couple of home runs,
which has been his bugaboo.
29 of them.
2-2 dribble toward third base. The pitcher with it, bare hand throw, and will not get him. In and out of the glove of Pierce. So Pedroia will have the first Red Sox hit tonight.
Well, if Pierce holds on to this ball, Pedroia is out. Nice play by Gallardo. He had to go a long way for this, and he had a hard time getting enough on it. Threw it in the dirt, but you see how far he had to go. A swinging bunt down the line. He gets to it, kind of underhands it. One hops Pierce. I thought Pierce was going to pick this ball. If he does, he's out. He does not.
So the Sox with a base runner here in the third inning with 2 down. A hit for Dustin Pedroia. So since he went to the leadoff spot last Wednesday, he is 14 for 29.
Wow.
And on an 8-game hitting streak.
I mean, he's gone under the radar, hasn't he? Out of everybody we talk about, everybody except him.
I agree. Having such a good all-around season defensively as well.
Oh, totally. That's a given most of the time with his defense, but a lot of doubles recently. Closing in on what, 30 doubles. Gotten his 12 jacks. He's having a good year for him.
Going to score over 100 runs. Xander Bogaerts is 0 for 1. He is 3 out of 11 lifetime against Gallardo. Ortiz on deck, 2 down, no score, 3rd inning. Sox are trying to win their 5th consecutive game.
Haven't seen Bogey sting one in a while. Just crush one.
We talked about the slump he's in, which is 13 for 67. That's over 18, 19 games now. Over that span, he's only hit 2 home runs. And he's driven in just 6 runs. So this is a serious slump he's in.
Look at him shaking his head.
See if he can work his way out of it tonight. It's not for lack of effort working with Chili Davis. Lots of work in the cage, lots of video work. There goes the runner. And a ground ball, right side base hit, right behind the heels of Pedroia, who will take off for 3rd and stop there. So the Sox had a play on, and that worked out perfectly. Sometimes, Eck, that's exactly what needs to happen. You put on a hit and run for a guy.
Oh, totally. And you just try to hit the ball. Just hit the ball. And that's a way, that's his best side. I mean, when he goes for average, all he tries to do is hit the ball the other way. They put the runner in motion, and you could drive a truck through that side. See Pedroia gets a jump. The way he was running, he was just trying to steal, man. He was going. And 2 strikes, just makes the contact, base hit, 1st and 3rd, but 2 outs.
David Ortiz, the batter. He drew a walk in the 1st inning. And he has been swinging away against the Orioles this year. 350, 5 homers and 11 RBIs against Baltimore. High for ball 1.
Once again, you got to be careful here with Ortiz, but look who's on deck. Mookie Betts.
A 0-0 game at the moment. Here's the 1-0. That's a strike. Bit of a generous call there from Phil Cuzzi.
That just barely shaved the outside corner. Can't do it much better than that.
Ortiz with a big home run yesterday in Cleveland to give the Red Sox the lead. Tried to check, looked like he did, and no appeal.
Well, he's trying to go in on him, and that ball went back over the plate. Ball's up to Ortiz. Didn't really like it.
David said after the game, every win matters. We're in August right now. We have to go for it. Any game we win, that's what matters to us. He was 2 for 4, 2 RBIs. And the 2-1. Now he's gone to 3-1.
He really hasn't given him anything to hit. You see the curveball down in the dirt, staying away from the middle of the plate.
Now Mookie Betts on deck for protection. He ought to get something to swing at right here.
I don't know. I'd walk him.
Gallardo with a 3-1. And he rolled it foul. That one actually caught a piece of his foot.
Pretty good pitch. A little cutter down and in. This ball's not straight. A little teeny cut to that ball. Swings over the top of it. Almost couldn't wait long enough to go after that.
Xander Bogaerts at first base after his single. He'll be off to the races here with 2 down to 3-2. And it is up high. And that will load up the bases as Ortiz takes ball 4. They're all filled up for Mookie Betts.
Can't say I blame him right there. You get behind Ortiz 3-1 with his vision. He's not going to swing at anything off the plate, and if he can hurt you, but so can Mookie.
DraftKings is the official one-day fantasy baseball partner of the Red Sox. Experience the thrill of playing at DraftKings now. Play free daily using the promo code NESSN at DraftKings.com. Last 15 games, Mookie Betts hitting .381 with 17 home runs. And that's a strike.
Wow.
Right down the middle.
Whoa. I mean, look at this pitch. Right down Broadway. 91 miles an hour. He's trying to get it in. Throws it right down the middle.
The 0-1. Hard ground ball, but foul past third base. Not by much. I think I said 17 home runs over the last 15 games. 17 RBIs over the last 15 games for Mookie.
Gets a fastball right there and pulls it right down the line. Just foul. 2 fastballs. Very hittable pitches.
Man at every base. Pedroia, Bogarts, and Ortiz. But 2 strikes on Betts. Checked his swing. They do appeal. No swing, says Hamari.
Boy, Mookie thought about it, man. A very tempting pitch. High and outside. You see him going after this, and he holds up. Those quick hands can stop in a hurry, too.
An early chance here in a scoreless game for the Red Sox. And now Betts will ask for time and get it.
Throwing 3 fastballs. I can't imagine him throwing a fastball here. I think he's trying to throw him some hook in the dirt.
He has homered 6 times against the Orioles this season. Fly ball launched into right. Racing back Davis. He's there and will make the play to retire the side. That's been a tough spot all season for the Red Sox. Bases loaded and they get nothing. Tim Wakefield along with Steve Lyons and TC will break it all down. You'll hear from Rodriguez and from John Farrell. Whatever, whenever, wherever, who but W.B. Mason. That really has been a season-long issue for the Red Sox, leaving the bases loaded.
It's just so glaring. Every time it happens, it just adds to it.
Hardy the batter, and he'll look at a strike. The Red Sox hitting .223 with the bases loaded. Coming into play today. That has been awful.
Well, he had so many pitches to hit. 4 fastballs he threw him.
Well, you think of all the runs and potential victories if the Red Sox were just slightly better in that spot.
Blow people out.
So no score here in the last half of the 3rd inning. Hardy 277, 5 home runs. Good power from him as he'll take a ball. He's 2 for 5 lifetime against Rodriguez. Nolan Reimold on deck, and then Adam Jones, their leadoff man, and the 2-1. Crack but foul outside third. The Orioles are a really good club at home. They're 39-17 at Camden Yards. That's the best home record in the American League.
I guess so. They're 7 under on the road. They'd run away with this thing if they were 500 on the road.
Just coming off a long trip. That's in there for strike 3. Caught him looking. He's made some good pitches early.
He really has. Down at the bottom of the zone. You see that one there. He just froze him. Ball's down and away. Paint. Thank you.
Reimold next. How impressed were you yesterday with Drew Pomeranz?
I really was. You know, that curveball was consistent. He was, he was throwing a lot of strikes. Had a lot of easy innings. That's why he made it to the 8th inning. That's something he hasn't been doing. He's been throwing more pitches. He did give up a home run again, which he's done every start. But that's as good as he's been for the Red Sox, and he needed that W bad.
Or for anyone, it's the longest he's ever gone in a major league start. So he went 7 2/3, and he did pick up the win, his first Red Sox victory.
That's a tough lineup. I mean, Cleveland's got a tough lineup. He made it look easy yesterday.
Reimold just a .226 average. Bases empty, 1 down for the Orioles. And it skips up there. I mentioned Baltimore was on a long road swing, 10 games, went 5-5 on that. Buck Showalter said, "We have not heard friendly voices in quite a while." They said the Red Sox are not going to feel sorry for us. They're trying to accomplish the same thing we are. 2-1 popped up, but that'll twist foul back out of play. Two balls, 2 strikes on the number 9 hitter.
We've seen fastballs, cutters, sliders, changeup. He doesn't go to his changeup as much as he did.
He did toss a really good one on 3-1.
Which was out of the world. I mean, what are you going to do? 3-1 changeup to Davis.
2-2 popped up, should be caught on the infield. And here's Shaw, the first baseman, to put it away. 2 down. Catch a condensed 2-hour version of every Sox game each night at midnight on Sox in 2. Sox in 2 brought to you by Jeep. Start your adventure in a Jeep brand vehicle today. I have friends of mine who say, well, I need Sox in 2 because sometimes there are a couple of things that Eck may say with his vocabulary that I'm not quite grabbing it all, and I need to see it again.
They still can't grab it all.
What was the one yesterday?
That was kind of funky.
The one on the bridge job.
Yeah,
it was
right.
a Johnson. It was a bridge. And it was
Bridge
something else.
walk-off Johnson.
Yeah.
You get what I mean.
I get it.
It was danger. It could have been trouble. Like
danger.
Go home.
Will Robinson.
Yes,
yeah.
we go home. But it was fouled by a lot. But the anticipation of it, because it was a 3-1 pitch, and Almonte was all over it.
And I thought you capped it perfectly with whatever that was you said about it.
Yes. I don't know if I'll ever say it again, but it just sort of worked at the time.
Perfect.
Yes.
Adam Jones 0 for 1. He's flied out to center. He's coming off a strong road trip. Scope on deck. A 0-0 game. Red Sox have had the better of the chances early.
They have not hit the ball hard at all.
Jones hit .386 over the 10 games on their trip. He was late on that one. 92-mile-an-hour fastball up and away to get him, and another good inning. He gets him 1-2-3. question, and here it is. Should there be a time limit on replay reviews? Text 1 for yes, 2 for no. As Jackie Bradley leads it off with a swing and a miss. Text your answer to 536 536. Message and data rates may apply. 1 message per vote. This comes up in a timely way because we had a review yesterday in Cleveland. It took about 3 hours.
But what are you supposed to do? Say you put 2 minutes on it and they don't come up with it in 2 minutes, and so whatever they called on the field stands. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly
okay.
right. And I would say even shorter than that. I go 90 seconds.
Okay. So
90 seconds is plenty.
Somebody's got to get their act together and check it out quick. Let's go.
Let's move it along.
Right.
Baseball's trying to speed up games. Let's move it along that way. Jackie 0 for 1. He is grounded to second. No score here in the 4th inning. Dennis Eckersley, Dave O'Brien, Gary Striewski with you. Sandy Leon on deck. Then Travis Shaw against Gallardo, who has frustrated the Red Sox a little bit here in the early going. Sox had the bases loaded last inning and didn't score. And Bradley down hacking. He is 0 for 2.
Boy, he just schooled him right there in that at bat. Swung at a curveball in the dirt. He finishes him off with just a little cutter. Doesn't look like much, but it's up out over the zone, and Jackie doesn't get cheated all 3 swings.
1 away in the 4th. Sandy Leon took ball 4 in the 2nd inning. Gallardo's been a little bit fortunate too. He's already walked 3 men. Got a big double play ball to erase a runner after a walk in the 2nd.
Everything does something. A little cutter here, a little sinker there, curveball. Everything is nothing straight. He can't afford it. He's got to walk guys the way he pitches now.
The 1-0 pitch and on the corner. Gallardo was born in Mexico, but his family moved to Texas when he was very young, and that's where eventually when he went to high school he caught the eye of the Major League Scouts. In Fort Worth in high school, he struck out 25 batters in an 11-inning game. High fly into left field, and there's Reimold for the catch. 2 up and 2 down. NESN once again looking for the best backyard ballpark in New England. If your backyard is in a league of its own, upload a short video of your backyard ballpark to NESN.com/ballparks. If you win, Jerry Remy will host a private party for your family and friends in your backyard. This contest presented in part by Lighthouse Construction. Two down. Travis Shaw now. He rifled a shot to the first baseman Pierce, who doubled him up on it. That one almost got him on the elbow. He had fouled the ball off his shin in that at bat before the 3-6-3. And Gallardo with a 1-0 pitch. Two 2-0.
Gallardo's so important to this staff. If he can do what they thought he can do, even though he missed a couple of months, this rotation, you're going to see Tillman tomorrow night, but after that, Gausman, Bundy, and Miley they recently got, hadn't pitched very well.
Yep, Wade Miley, former Red Sox pitcher, has been bouncing around a little bit. Red Sox right now have a 2-game lead for the second American League wildcard spot over Seattle now. They've jumped over Detroit. Where the Red Sox head next.
You know, Seattle didn't seem like much, did it? You just sort of forget about Seattle because they've never really made a run at this thing for a long time.
I never forget about the King.
The King.
King Felix. I
Yes.
never forget about King Felix, but they're playing really good baseball right now. They won 8 out of 10, and that'll be ball 4. So he's walked 4 men. He hasn't paid for it yet as we check out the wild card standings. And the Tigers slipping a little bit all of a sudden.
To me, I'm more afraid of the Tigers than Seattle.
You still are?
I still am. And then obviously I'm afraid of Toronto. I think Toronto has the best team. I don't know necessarily the rotation, but that offense kind of scares me.
Here's Brock Holt 0 for 1 with a tapper to second base. Red Sox have a runner at first base and 2 down. Starts him off with a breaking ball. Brock, another guy trying to get his bat hot again, just 243. It has been a while since he really sizzled. That was the case early in the season. Then he got hurt. He had the ankle issue. He had a concussion. That stalled him.
Hit that home run the other day against Arizona. Was that Sunday? He crushed that ball.
Yeah, it was one of his best swings in some time. You look at his August numbers, just 167. That home run was a bullet. Shaw leading off first base, and the 1-1. Cross for a strike. Benintendi would be next. The Red Sox with just 2 hits so far against Gallardo. Follow Red Sox baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment with game day, live game video, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet today. 1-2. He would not chase it. Gallardo very much a nibbler. Trying to stay out of the center of the plate. The 2-2. Fly ball into right field. And Davis there coming on to make the play. And that'll do it. No runs or hits. A walk, 1 left. It's still a 0-0 game. From Oriole Park, Camden Yards, Dennis Eckersley, Dave O'Brien, Gary Striewski with you. 0-0 game here. Let's toss it down to Gary. Gary, the other day we were talking about Red Sox villains.
The conversation continues as well, of course, because A-Rod riding off into the sunset, or at least leaving the Yankees. Who knows what happens with he and the Marlins. So I posed the question to the guy that we're going to see in this inning, Manny Machado, because a lot of the tweeters out there say, hey, Manny Machado, definitely a villain. He's young. He's really good. We'd probably love to have him, but since we don't and he mashes at Fenway, he's going to be the villain. I asked him before the game, and he said, you know what? I'll embrace it. Fenway Park, besides Camden Yards, is actually my favorite place to hit in because he challenges himself to hit it over the monster every single time the Baltimore Orioles are in Boston. So then I flipped it to David Ortiz, who's actually friends with Manny Machado, both of them, of course, from the Dominican Republic, and he said, yeah, but Manny's too nice of a guy. I can name you 3 guys from Toronto that are better villains than him, and then he let me fill in the blanks. Encarnacion, Joey Bats, Josh Donaldson. So the debate continues, but Manny Machado a front runner because he embraces it.
Yeah, we talked about Donaldson the other day, Gary, and I thought that might be a way to go on that one.
Because he's kind of fiery, plays with a lot of passion, right?
Very much, very much. 1-2 rocketed foul off the bat of Scope, who struck out his first time up. The Orioles don't have a hit to this point against Rodriguez.
Ortiz has a tough time telling you who the villains are going to be because he's pals with everybody. Yeah,
Gary says he's friends with Machado. It's like saying there's sand at the beach. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Come on. Who's he not friends
right.
with? 1-2 is upstairs. I think fans are really interested in that, though. Who's going to be the next guy with A-Rod leaving? And by the way, A-Rod's agent has said publicly there's nothing to the Marlin thing.
You believe that?
I kind of do.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a general manager out there who'd be willing to take a shot at him. Do you?
I think the way he's swinging, he's done. But, you know, I mean, he's got 4 home runs away from 700. If that means anything, I mean, I'm sure it does to him. But the Marlins are in this thing, and that's the National League. What do you need, a pinch hitter, right-handed pinch hitter?
Here's the 2-2 to Scope. Down he goes. A cut and a miss on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
Boy, that is a funky swing right there. We've seen some bad swings early on, but this one, I'll tell you what, ties him up with some gas right at him. I'll tell you what, Scope swings at everything. This ball eats him up, velocity and location. See ya.
5 Ks for Rodriguez. He's gotten Scope twice. That'll bring up Mr. Machado, who is 0 for 1 with a pop foul to catcher.
Had him 3-0 the first time up and just kept swinging too.
Yeah, terrific young player, of course. And back on August 7th, became the 9th player in Major League history to homer in 3 consecutive innings. He did that against the White Sox, and the 2nd player ever to do it in the first 3 innings of the game. Tried to hold up, looked like he went, and he did.
Sure he did.
Amari rings him up there, and a count 0-2.
You see this high fastball, he's very geared for it, and then he just cannot hold up. Question is if I'm the Orioles, I'm tying him up. I'm giving him a 10-year Johnson something to keep him. I don't know if they will. I don't think they will. So sooner or later he's going to be gone.
He's back to his natural spot over at third base, where he is as good as it gets.
He's gotten better and better every year. He's going to drive in over 100 runs this year. You remember he was hurt that year, cost him his 2nd year.
Bases empty, 1 down, no score in the bottom of the 4th inning, and he'll take it inside. Trumbo on deck. Eduardo Rodriguez very sharp here in the early going, looking for his 6th K.
Look at that.
93 upstairs to blow away Machado for number 6.
That looks like 100 miles an hour the way they're swinging the bats. They are so behind this. First of all, it's a ball. It's hard to get on top of that. And that 93 might as well be 100 miles an hour up there.
We check out what events are coming up at Foxwoods Resort Casino. Cirque Eloise Saloon, the world premiere coming up on Sunday. 2 down for Trumbo.
There's a changeup. Boy, he's dealing, isn't he? Feeling it.
Sure is. Mixing it up. Better than we've seen at any point this season.
It's always nice against the team you started with. Extra incentive.
A career 1-3 against Baltimore, but 1-1 at Camden Yards with an ERA here of 1.56.
Yeah, he won his first start here against Baltimore last year.
1-1 pitch, and that'll find the mark right on the corner to make it 1-2. They've only had one base runner against the lefty. That was Chris Davis taking a walk in the second.
It's only 93, but it's playing hotter, isn't it? It just is.
Said that about the temperature today in Baltimore too. Might only be 93, but it feels like 102. 1-2 and fouled back.
Chasing that high fastball.
Trumbo's had some season with 34 homers, 85 runs batted in. Look at the on-base percentage over the last month. That has been a bit of a scuffle for him. 1-2.
There you go.
And he struck him out, and he strikes out the side. He gets Schoop, Machado, and Trumbo in succession. Fifth inning coming up. Red Sox nothing and Baltimore nothing. And Benintendi leading things off by taking a strike. So far tonight, Andrew is 0 for 1. He's grounded back to the pitcher. He'll be followed by Pedroia and Bogarts. And the big story early on has certainly been Eduardo Rodriguez. High fly, right field. Hit pretty well, headed to the corner, and that ball is going to be off the wall. Davis bare hands and throws, but won't get him. It'll be 2 bases for Benintendi, who took aim at that right field corner.
Boy, I thought that was it. Ball that he can handle inside. He lifts this ball. I thought it was a home run easy. Kind of ran out of gas when it got out there. You see this little cutter he gets. I thought he got it. I thought he got it easy. Maybe it hit the end of his bat. I don't know, but it runs out of gas and goes about halfway up. I thought he was in trouble going to second. Trumbo with the throw. He gets in easy.
So leadoff double. The way Rodriguez is pitching tonight, it may not take many runs at all to get him a victory. Here's Pedroia now. He's gone 1 for 2. Infield single for Dustin.
See, Dustin tries to get him over.
And the 0-1 up. That's off the pitcher. Ricochets to Hardy. It's short. The throw is in time to get him. Benintendi holding at second base.
How about that play? That was a bullet off the back of Gallardo. I don't know where it hit his hand. He's shaking his hand, but look at this. This is a bullet. I think his hand may have gotten in the way, his forearm, but what a play by Hardy. He kind of want to see where this ball hits him. You didn't see it on that, but Hardy sort of stumbles a little bit, and he's got such a good arm. He throws him out, bang, bang at first.
Now the question is, will he continue?
Yeah, that's his forearm.
He's already had injury issues this season to put him on the disabled list for 2 months.
I'd be surprised if he pitches. I'm telling you. He says he's all right.
Pedroia with a bullet, misdirected by Gallardo's pitching arm, and now he's going to take 1 or 2 here. Benintendi could not advance, had to hold at second base. He had to stay right there.
You see this ball hit. I thought it hit his back, but he gets his arm up and it gets him right in the forearm, right there, right above the elbow.
Says he wants to continue.
Wow. You've got to wait a while. That thing's going to be, when he gets in the dugout, it's going to be scuffling. This takes a while to kick in.
Xander now 1 for 2 with a single. Gallardo's pitching line brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealers. Been able to survive those 4 walks so far. Will he survive that line shot off the forearm? 1 man out. Bogaerts with a base hit in the 3rd inning. He's also tapped to the 3rd baseman. David Ortiz on deck. Benintendi at second. Red Sox trying to get on top, pushing to tie the Orioles tonight atop the division, and knock foul out of play. The Yankees have a 5-0 lead over Toronto in a game that is now in the 5th inning, but it's now being delayed by rain.
Pouring.
And Wieters paying a mound visit.
I don't know, man, how he feels. That ball hit him pretty good. Oh, no pitcher wants to come out of the game, but I'll tell you what, Bogaerts just had a pitch that he can hit. He missed it again, fouled it straight back.
Hey, take an inside look at the Red Sox AAA club with Paw Sox baseball catcher Rising Star. New show, behind the scenes access with the manager Kevin Bowles and some of the top prospects in the organization. Catch the premiere Thursday night at 6 right here on NESN. And punch foul again by Bogaerts, who really looks to be actively trying to take the ball to right field.
Look at the look on his face. Just it's like, how, if I got a hole in my bat or what?
Just 3 for 37 for Xander with runners in scoring position going back to the 2nd week of July. That's why he only has the 6 RBIs in the last 18 ball games. Trying to come through here though and pick up Benintendi. With 1 out, the 1-2. 2-2. Gallardo looking in for a sign from Wieters. And a 2-2 pitch to the number 2 hitter Bogaerts. And that's inside. Again, he's already walked 4 men, including David Ortiz twice. He's wanted absolutely nothing to do with the man in the on-deck area. But he's lurking again.
He doesn't want to have anything to do with the middle of the strike zone. He doesn't want to really throw a lot of strikes.
Xander Bogaerts asking for time, and he gets it from Phil Cuzzi. Bogaerts still in that top 5 in the batting race. Red Sox are 2, 3, 4, and 10th in the American League batting race. 3-2, and he walked him. So another ball 4 from Gallardo.
I mean, who's going to swing at that? I mean, that's just non-competitive.
I think the bigger question now is who's going to make him pay. Will it be David Ortiz, who walked in the first and walked again in the third inning? Let's go to Gary Striewski.
Guys, 45 more regular season games to go for David Ortiz. Do not miss any of his at-bats. Sign up for the NESN Poppy alerts. Just text Poppy to 536-536. We will notify you every single time the large father steps to the plate to make sure you do not miss that 2-run opposite field lunch job Johnson, just like Eck would say. Actually, Eck, he'd probably say it better. Here we go.
Large father.
First one on the way. A massive cut and a miss for strike one.
The large father. Swung and missed.
First and second for the Red Sox here. David Ortiz has hit 28 home runs at Camden Yards in his career in 442 at-bats. Always very fond of this ballpark, and who wouldn't be? 1-1 the count. He really loves Cleveland too. And he slammed a long home run there yesterday afternoon. It was a huge hit in the Red Sox win to get this long trip off on a good start.
How is Gallardo going to get him out?
One away. 1-2.
Oh my goodness. That's the second pitch he swung through right there. 91, maybe a little too big. Ball up a little bit. Is he late?
Only 91. Betts on deck. Benintendi at second. Bogarts at first. And Gallardo hanging on the 1-2, and he missed with that one to even up the count. Baltimore already getting some activity. They get Donnie Hart, the left-hander, going. Darren O'Day is on the DL right now.
Yeah,
they don't have him available.
All right, that's going to hurt them. Is he going to go back to that fastball up and away?
Would he dare? Here's the 2-2 pitch from Gallardo.
Yes.
Trying to hold up, and that's a swing and a miss. Down he goes, strike three.
You got to be kidding me. This is a miracle. He swung and missed 3 fastballs off Gallardo. They might have all been balls. I don't know, but they're up. That ball definitely was up. But 3 almost in the same spot, 91 miles an hour, swing and miss 3 times. You're not going to see that very often. Didn't even go all the way through.
Big strikeout for Gallardo, and 2 down. So now Betts trying to salvage something here. Sox have already left 5 men on base, including the bases loaded yet again in the third inning. There's a rocket, drilled to left, Ramo back, and she's gone. He's done it again in Baltimore. Mookie Betts with a grand slam. They have no answer. 2 men on there, my apologies. That is a 3-run shot. Mookie Betts with a 3-run shot, and the Red Sox have the lead 3-0.
Gallardo must have been ecstatic after he punches out Ortiz, and then a breaking ball to Betts, and he makes him pay, bang, in a hurry. Look at this breaking ball, just leaves it out, spinning middle, and that is just right down his alley. When he snaps this ball out of the ballpark like nothing. Once again, his 7th home run against the Orioles this year in 11 games.
And his 27th, so he has tied David Ortiz, a 3-run homer there. And Speedway proud to be New England's first choice for value and convenience. For every Red Sox home run this season, Speedway donates to Boston Children's Hospital. And now in August, get 10 cents off per gallon of gas at Speedway when you make a qualifying $3 merchandise purchase. So a 3-run shot there for Mookie Betts, who continues to own the Orioles here, particularly at Camden Yards.
He must have been, ecstatic after punching out Ortiz. Then he hangs a breaking ball to Mookie, and he pays.
Bradley 0 for 2. He is grounded to second and struck out. That's a swinging bunt. Gallardo to try and handle that. Throws and gets him at first base to retire the side. But Betts does it again. This place just a bandbox for him as he crushes that 3-run liner, and it is 3-0 Red Sox. Brought to you by Old Dominion, a 3-run homer quickly into the seats by Mookie Betts, his 27th of the season. Old Dominion Household Services, self-moving services that deliver. 7 home runs in 11 games and 15 RBIs now against this Oriole team. And Steve Pearce leading things off here against Eduardo Rodriguez, who now has a little bit of breathing room.
Gallardo thought he had some breathing room. He took a deep breath after punching out Ortiz, and boom.
Pearce 0 for 1 with a ground ball out to short. They don't have a hit yet against Rodriguez.
He's punched out 5 out of the last 6.
Now Bogart's in, and is there something up with Erod here? Here comes John Farrell, and quickly Brad Pearson, a trainer, out. Xander saw something immediately, came sprinting from shortstop out to the hill.
What is this? His knee? What's going on? Oh my
he's
goodness.
taking the ball from him.
Wait a minute.
He's taking the baseball away. Oh, you wonder if it's that knee again.
I know. I think it's the knee
that put him on the disabled list in spring training. And he had been pitching such a terrific ball game, as you mentioned, striking out 5 of the last 6.
This is as good as it gets. This might be the best game he's pitched to this point. 4 innings, punch outs galore, swings and misses. What's going on?
And down the steps he goes, right to the clubhouse. What do you see there, right?
It's got to be the knee, right? Because it's the right knee, is it not?
I think that it's got to be that.
Yeah, it's got to be. He must have felt something. That is a shame. It really is.
So Barnes will come on here and will take as many one-up tosses as is required. Red Sox ahead 3-0. We will take the break as well. John Farrell has to take out Rodriguez when he may be pitching as well at this moment as he has at any time for the Red Sox. We'll take the break as well. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. BuyAToyota.com, Toyota's website for deals. Digital Federal Credit Union, see what DCU can save you. By Mazda, driving matters. Sullivan Tire and Complete Auto Service. and by your New England Ford dealers. Ford, go further. Now, the Red Sox have a 3-0 lead on the home run by Mookie Betts, but have just had to take out Eduardo Rodriguez. His pitching line is brought to you by Ace Ticket.
Well, this is as good as it gets, huh? I haven't seen a better game up to this point. 4 innings. You talk about 7 punch-outs, all fastballs, 5 of them swinging and missing. I mean, a lot of swings and misses. We only saw a couple of changeups, but that to me was as good as I've seen.
But of course, the great question is, why did he have to come out? This call to the bullpen brought to you by Kia, so Barnes can warm up as long as he likes until he feels comfortable to go and inherit a 3-0 lead here in the 5th inning. And after Eduardo Rodriguez had struck out 5 out of 6 batters, including the side in the 4th inning. And we have never seen him look sharper.
No, everybody was, he was beating everybody on that high fastball. He showed a lot of cutters early, so maybe they were conscious of that a little bit. It wasn't like he was throwing 98 miles an hour, but I'll tell you what, it looked like it the way they were swinging and missing. Yeah, you see the 7 punch-outs here, this early on. You see Scope, he's swinging at everything. That ball's right by him. Low paint to Trumbo. You see J.J. Hardy paint outside corner fastball. High cheese there to Jones. Once again, that Scope kid again, right by Yamon. Fastball right by Machado. And then Trumbo again. And the last pitch he threw, high fastball, I don't know. It was his right knee before, maybe again.
So John Farrell has to go out and take him out of the game and bring on Matt Barnes. He inherits a 2-0 count. So now 3-0 on Pierce, who's 0 for 1 with a tapper to short.
Matt Barnes has done it all this year. Get you 1 out, 1 inning, 2 innings, 3 innings, whatever. He's been there.
The 3-0, and that one missed badly to Walker. So the leadoff man is on in the inning. Time for a game break, brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Here's TC. Tom, thank you very much. Chris Davis next. He drew a walk in the 2nd inning and was the only man who reached first base when Rodriguez was on the hill. Pounded in there at 96 for strike 1.
Not that it matters, but whose walk is that? When you leave the game with a 2-0 count on a hitter and the next pitcher comes in and walks the guys, whose walk is that? Opie?
That's Rodriguez walk.
Okay.
So he winds up walking a couple. Waved down and missed by Davis. And the count quickly 0-2. Of course, he'll strike out a ton. Leads the majors with 162 strikeouts and 410 at bats.
Wow.
And the 0-2 pitch. As soon as we do get word on why Eduardo Rodriguez had to depart, we will bring it to you. But it's a stunner the way he was dealing.
It really is.
Red Sox ahead 3-0. They have out-hit the Orioles 4-0 tonight. Two and 2. Matt Wieters on deck.
Keep that fastball up.
And the 2-2 to Chris Davis. And that's in there for strike 3. Caught him looking.
Or you can paint him down in a way if you'd like.
He dotted that one.
Yes, he did. Strikeout number 163 there for Davis. Boy, that is pain for him. Nothing to do with that.
So Wieters next. He's 0 for 1 with a fly to left. He did a Dustin Pedroia on Sunday. He had a 5-hit game. He was 5 for 5 as the Orioles came from behind at San Francisco to shock the Giants. So they closed out their long road trip. And he flies that one toward right center field, and Betts is there into the alley. 2 down with Pierce back to first base. The Red Sox end of summer family pack is back, and with a special ticket offered, you get free parking, a free duck tour ride to and from the park, a free hot dog and soda with each ticket, courtesy of Aramark. For tickets and more information, visit redsox.com/familypack. So 2 away. Hardy the batter. He struck out looking his first time up. And the first one on the way is in there for a strike to their shortstop. He's been a hot hitter lately, hitting .323 over his last 35 games. And has shown off good power in the past. He had 30 home runs in 2011. 2 down and a man at first. And a strike.
Well, you see that open stance, and it's funky where he holds his hands, wiggles the bat a little bit. You think, how is he going to get to that ball outside?
Nolan Reimold on deck, and the 0-2 pitch. Just missed.
Could have rung him up.
Bill Cuzzi said no on that one. More activity in the bullpen now for the Orioles. Vance Worley getting going, the right-hander. Here's the 1-2 as he looks for another strikeout and a roll of foul. We're getting the word on Eduardo Rodriguez and why he had to leave the game. Left hamstring tightness is what they're telling us.
Well, I guess that's better than the knee.
And a dive back by Pierce. It sure is. We'll see how long it keeps him out.
I wonder if this heat has anything to do with it. Who knows?
2 men out and a 1-2. Just flicked that one foul. Red Sox have struck out the Orioles already tonight 8 times. This is an Oriole team that will fan a lot.
Oh, they're not shy because they're trying. Everybody's trying to go yard.
The set by Barnes and the 1-2 again. And he got him. Swing and a miss. Hardy fans for the second time. Still 3-0 Red Sox. To you by T-Mobile, lowest bullpen ERAs among American League teams, and Baltimore's #1 at 3.15, just in front of Houston and the Yankees. And they're going to dip into the bullpen right now. So the night is over for Gallardo. It'll be Worley coming in 2-1, a 312 earned run average. He has made 4 starts as well. 66 in the 3rd innings.
He's done a nice job for them. You think about it, there's not that many long relievers in the big leagues anymore. Everybody goes 1 inning, but not overpowering, but mixes it up. Good little breaking ball.
Gallardo allowing the 3 runs on the home run by Mookie Betts. His 27th. A taser shot into the stands and left. Leon has walked and flied out to left. So Sandy is 0 for 1. Travis Shaw next, and then Brock Holt. So a tight hamstring forces Eduardo Rodriguez out of the best looking start he's ever made for the Red Sox, at least to that point in the game. Not allowing the Orioles a hit. And the 3-0. A strike. Leon trying to run his hitting streak to 6 consecutive games. The 3-1 pitch. Strike 2.
Nothing but fastballs to this point. 5 fastballs, about 90 miles an hour.
And the payoff pitch. High fly ball into right center field. On the move, Jones. And space back there to make the catch very casually for the out. So 1 gone for the Red Sox here in the 6th inning. And Travis Shaw is up next. Red Sox tomorrow, David Price on the mound against Chris Tillman, the ace for Baltimore. He's 15-4. Price goes in 10-8, a 4.29 ERA. Red Sox tonight trying to win their 5th consecutive game. As Shaw gets in, he's been doubled up and taken ball 4. Red Sox ahead 3-0. And a 1-0. Take a closer look at that pitching matchup. Price against Tillman tomorrow. Closer look is brought to you by FWM Selection Expertise Solutions. More at FWM.com.
Price pitched good enough to win last time. They got him a bunch of runs. That was the game that Ramirez hit the 2-3 run home runs. He gave up a 2-run shot in the 1st, came back out in the 2nd, winning 4-2. It was a beautiful thing. Scattered, what, 10 hits in 8 innings. He'll take that.
Here's the 3-0, and that missed for ball 4. So Shaw draws his 2nd walk. He's on 1 down. Red Sox have taken a bunch of them already tonight, and that'll bring up Brock Holt. Brock was not in the original starting lineup. Aaron Hill was at 3rd base, but he was a late scratch, and Brock Holt stepping in at 3rd is 0 for 2 tonight. He sneaks that one in at the bottom of the strike zone for strike 1.
Must be a little deception because there's not much gas, right? I mean, it doesn't look like much this guy's got.
Shaw on with 1 man out. That one has popped up down the line, heading into foul territory, and no one can make a play on that. Ace Ticket is Boston's trusted source for Red Sox tickets with the best seats at the lowest prices. Ace Ticket has the biggest selection of tickets from bleachers to boxes. Visit aceticket.com or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. So 2 strikes on Brock. Batting out of the 8th spot, Benintendi is the guy who started the rally in the 5th inning. He's on deck as he doubled off the right field wall. Then Pedroia hit a shot off Gallardo that caught him on the arm, on his pitching arm. Xander Bogaerts would walk after that after Pedroia was set down at first base. And after Ortiz struck out, Betts launched the 3-run homer. That one skips off the hill. Hardy to Schoop on the first for the double play. And that will retire the side. Here in the 6th inning, Red Sox still in front, 3-0. Why the Red Sox and the rest of America run on Dunkin', because Dunkin' iced coffee is consistently smooth and delicious. Dunkin' Donuts coffee is the #1 coffee in New England. The Boston Red Sox run on Dunkin'. Red Sox ahead 3-0 as we go to the last half of the 6th inning in Baltimore. And Nolan Reimold will lead things off here against Barnes as he pitches into his 2nd inning. Forced into the game to relieve Rodriguez, Eduardo Rodriguez, because of a hamstring problem. And he was cruising. Pedroia right there for the stab, and up and over and plenty of time to get him, and Reimold is 0 for 2. So 1 away here in the 6th inning, back up to the top of the order, and Adam Jones. Still no hits here for the Orioles. At the Cancer Center at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, doctors and scientists are working together on therapies of the future today, from developing new treatments to delivering leading compassionate care. Learn more at bidmc.org/Cancer Center. Jones has flied to center and struck out. It is 200th home run as an Oriole back on June 2nd. That was against the Red Sox.
This guy's been the heart and soul of this club for what, 6-7 years now. Started the season off so bad. Boy, he's come around. 23 home runs, RBIs, what, 69 RBIs out of the leadoff spot.
He's the all-time RBI leader for them at Camden Yards. He has passed Cal Ripken for that honor. Here comes the 1-0 from Barnes. Rattled the shortstop, one-handed by Bogaerts. 2 up, 2 down. And against a tough lineup, the Red Sox pitching staff has been mowing them down so far tonight.
Absolutely. No ball has really been hit that hard at all.
That'll bring up Schoop, who has struck out twice. That was at the hand of Rodriguez. power hitting second baseman, but with the bases empty. The Sox ahead 3-0. And a high fly down the right field line, giving chase is Betts down into the corner, but a foul ball.
I'll tell you what, Schoop, he is hacking. He just gets his swings in. Doesn't walk very much.
The Yankees are underway again with Toronto. It is 5-0 New York. They've had a rain delay there, but they're back and playing again in the 5th inning. The Red Sox win this game and the Yankees knock off Toronto. There's going to be a 3-way tie for first place in the American League East. 0-2. And activity in the Sox pen. Fernando Abad getting going. Red Sox trying to piece this one together with Erod stepping aside.
Yeah, you don't want to stretch Barnes out more than a couple of innings.
And here comes the 0-2 pitch to Schoop. Soft liner towards center and dive, and Pedroia makes the play, and they still don't have a hit. Pedroia robbing Schoop with a full extension dive.
Looked like a bleeder, slow motion. Nice play by Pedroia.
Top half of the 7th inning, and Benintendi leads things off, and the Red Sox in the lead 3-0 in Baltimore, and Pedroia on deck after making a tremendous diving catch just seconds ago.
Looked like it's going to break up the no-hitter on a ball that wasn't hit very hard, but Pedroia was right there, had it all sized up.
And in there for a strike at Benintendi, who began that rally in the 5th inning by doubling off the wall. He is 1 for 2 tonight. He'll be followed by Pedroia and then Xander Bogaerts. 2-1. Only runs in the game. Mookie Betts with a 3-run shot into the stands in left in the 5th inning. And that darts down and in. So the count moves to 3-1. Barnes throwing exceptionally well since coming on. There's a mile-high pop-up into short right field. Schoop is drifting out. Davis coming on. And one man away. Back to that catch.
This ball looked like it was going to fall in. It got jammed. You see there Schoop with a headlong dive. He lays out on this. I thought it was a base hit easy. He came out of nowhere, laid out, made a nice play. Appreciated there by Barnes.
Pedroia has an infield hit tonight. He's 1 for 3. Hit the ball a lot harder in the 5th inning on the ricochet off the starting pitcher Gallardo, which was deflected to shortstop, and then he was thrown out. Three runs on 4 hits for the Red Sox. No runs, no hits for Baltimore. Cross for a called strike. Xander Bogaerts has reached a couple of times tonight. He's on deck. Fly ball to right field. Davis backing up. He's made both plays in this inning. 2 down. Stay tuned for Red Sox Final, presented by Plainridge Park Casino. Tim Wakefield, along with Steve Lyons and TC, will preview David Price's start tomorrow against the Orioles. And here's Xander now. He's grounded out to third, singled and walked. He was on base when Mookie Betts slammed his 27th home run. And that is the difference in the game. Those 3 runs. That is in there for a strike.
Boy, Worley, he's not really throwing much. He's just throwing it up there and making outs.
The 0-1. And hammered foul. Ortiz on deck. Game 1 of 2 between the Red Sox and the Orioles. Red Sox will have to get to Detroit to play a series longer than 2. As that one is hit high in the air into right center field, and Jones moving over to put it away. And the Red Sox go 1-2-3 in the 7th.
Sox up 3-0, guys. Dustin Pedroia back at it again. Last inning, maintaining the no-hitter for right now. I want to take you guys back to last Saturday against the Diamondbacks. Probably one of the prettiest 4-6-3 putouts we're going to see so far this season back at Fenway Park. You thought, uh-oh, what's going to happen here? Dustin Pedroia only needed the glove side hand to make it look pretty. Of course, it was a fantastic play, a fantastic game. Later that night, though, Dustin Pedroia, 4-time Golden Glove winner, got a call from his father, Guy, and his dad, according to Brian Butterfield, said, hey, nice play, but secure the ball next time. Use both hands, guys, in Pedroia's defense. He probably didn't have time. It looked cool anyway, and it worked, and I guess that's why you win a handful of Golden Gloves.
Machado here, swinging away and rolls a foul. I thought it was a marvelous play.
What do you mean secure the ball? He wouldn't have turned a double play if he secured it. It was a great flip.
Thought it was stylish and the appropriate thing to do, but, you know.
Yeah.
One of the best plays of the year for the Red Sox. And he just made another one with the dive on the Schoop pop-up to rob him. And what would have been the first hit of the ball game for the Orioles. Here we are in the 7th inning. They don't have one. Machado has popped out foul to the catcher and struck out. They've only had 2 base runners, both on walks, Pierce and Davis. And the 1-1. Drilled in there at 96.
It's kind of nice you got a right-handed pitcher you can go to with all these right-handed hitters in the lineup because of Erod starting this game.
Eduardo Rodriguez forced out because of a tight hamstring. The 1-2 got a piece of it. And he was just cruising on into the 5th inning. Tonight, after Red Sox coverage on NESN Sports Today, an update on the American League playoff race, plus a report from Pats camp. That's tonight after Red Sox coverage on NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. And Barnes with a 1-2. Could not get him to go after that 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
You know, Barnes has got 4 pitches. He got a changeup too. He doesn't throw it all that often, but curveball, cutter, gas.
Red Sox pitchers have struck out 9 Orioles. Little looper, and that one caught. Easy play there for Shaw. 1 away in the 7th. And Trumbo is next, and he has struck out twice.
Barnes has got that big arm. I'll tell you, he consistently throws the ball over 95 miles an hour, regular.
Trumbo 34 home runs to lead the majors. And downstairs for ball 1 on Trumbo. He has already tied his career high in home runs for an entire season, 34 with the Angels a few years ago. He's certainly in a perfect ballpark for his swing. Here's the 1-0.
He just never captured it after that. 2013. Where'd he go to? He went to Arizona. It didn't happen there. He went to Seattle. Didn't happen there. And all of a sudden he comes here and he's got 34 bombs.
And 85 RBIs. He's had 5 multi-home run games already this season. The 2-0. And that missed. So 3-0 with Pierce on deck. Home run threats up and down this lineup. Red Sox ahead 3-0.
And that's how the Orioles get you. They go boom, 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 and hit the ball out of the ballpark. They don't string hits together. They leave the ballpark.
The 3-0 and ball 4. So Trumbo is on for the first time. Time to check out the results of our Dunkin' Donuts poll question. And we'll pose it again for you. Should there be a time limit on replay reviews? See how you came out on this one.
Got to be 80% yes. Close.
70-30. I think everybody would like to see that tightened up a little bit. Just about everybody would like to see a limit of some kind. 70% anyway. Here's Pierce as he looks at a strike. He has grounded out to short and taken a walk in this one. Red Sox leading 3-0.
There's that big curve ball. Get him off that fastball.
Davis on deck. And downstairs again. Red Sox with 1 more left with the Orioles here in this series, and then it's on to Detroit for 4 games and then 4 at Tampa Bay after that. So chance to actually unpack the suitcase for the Red Sox.
This is Barnes' last hitter, so hopefully he can get through it.
And a tall right-hander with a 1-1 not to be made as time is granted to Pierce at the last second by Phil Cuzzi. Take another look at that schedule coming up. Tomorrow night here in Baltimore, and then the day game on Thursday in Detroit. First of 4 against the Tigers. Red Sox will be home again on the 26th against Kansas City. 1-1 foul tipped into the middle. Took a big swing.
Ooh, beat him there, 98. Skip Barnes is the hardest thrower on this staff, without a doubt. 98.
Well, maybe Kimbrel would have something to say about that.
Yeah, that's about. They're both the same.
Here's the 1-2 to Pierce. Got a piece of that to hang in there. Pierce started hitting just 182 at the top of the night, and he had batting out of the 5 slot.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if Kimbrel, we'll never know if Kimbrel can throw 98 the 3rd inning he's out there, because he's never gone 3 innings.
He is available tonight, by the way. John Farrell said despite the 28 pitches yesterday and that high wire act in Cleveland, he is available. But he got it done, the 1-2 in tight. And you were never nervous for a second.
No, never. The thing about Kimbrel, I mean, he tries to punch everybody out because he can, and then when he does get in trouble, you're not as afraid, because they're not going to put the ball in play. The problem is, the walks. They load the base. In 1-run games, anything can happen.
There was a double and a walk yesterday. Red Sox leading by 1, eventually locking it up 3-2 the victory. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Little dribbler on the infield, going to be a tough play. Here's Holtz, and he can't make the play, and everybody's safe. So Pierce is on, and they will have their first hit of the ball game.
What an ugly hit. I told you, the last hitter he faces gets a hit. If he catches that cleanly, I don't know if there's a play at first base anyway. We'll never know, but that's enough for Barnes.
A walk and an infield single, and John Farrell is going to go to the left-hander Abad, coming out of the bullpen to face Chris Davis. Red Sox ahead 3-0 in the 7th. And we'll be back with more in just a moment. It is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, and nothing to hide. So Barnes out of the ball game after walking an infield single, the first and only hit so far tonight for the Orioles. It comes with one out in the 7th. But a home run threat coming up and Abad coming on after getting a huge out yesterday in Cleveland.
Yeah, big out. You know, I was surprised that he was in that game to face Ramirez, but he did get a big out. What, he got with 3-0, got to 3-1, popped him up.
Here's Davis. He's walked and struck out. 24 home runs. Red Sox with a 3-man shift on the right side, and he will take in tight for ball 1.
Have really liked his control for the most part. You know, the home run he gave up to breaking ball to Cano. Now we got Davis as a low ball hitter.
Not having a big RBI year. He does have a home run against Abad in his career. In the Sox home opener back on April 11th, he had a 5 RBI game.
Has got a real good release point right now.
Red Sox ahead 3-0, 7th inning.
I'm going to feature a breaking ball right now. He has no feel for it after those 2 misfires.
Just badly there again.
That was ugly.
3-0.
I don't really know what that was. It was off speed, 71. Is that a breaking ball? It wasn't a changeup,
Didn't
right?
break at all.
It was horrible, right? I guess it's a changeup. Wouldn't you throw a 2-0 changeup? I don't know what that is. 2-0 nothing ball.
And that'll be off the corner, and he walked him. And the bases are all loaded up here for the Orioles and for Wieters.
That was ugly. I mean, that's not exactly a confidence builder. Watching that right there, those 4 throws were brutal.
Wieters tonight is flied out twice, once to left and once to right. He does it again. He could put them on the scoreboard with a sacrifice fly. Wieters picked for the All-Star team this year. 4th time he's been selected. He does have 10 home runs. There's no room on the bases for him. It's Trumbo at 3rd. Pierce at 2nd. Davis at 1st. Ziegler now beginning to loosen in the Red Sox pen. One man away. And Wieters to hit from the right side. Here comes the first pitch from Abad. And a liner for a base hit. Trumbo is in to score. Here comes Pierce. Benintendi's throw. Not in time. 2 runs in. Wieters right away delivering.
Well, he threw a strike. Wieters was all over it. Fastball middle. He rifles this ball into left field. Fastball middle. Thought he hit it too hard to score the 2nd run, but you see, ball gets out to Benintendi. He's playing fairly deep out there, and you see Pierce score easy on this. 1st and 2nd. It's a 3-2 game, 1 out.
Wieters now 3 for 4 lifetime against Abad. Walked a man and gave up a 2-run hit. So we'll take a break. Ziegler coming on, trying to restore some order here. The Sox lead has been cut to 1. Food available at Men's Warehouse. Tim Wakefield and Steve Lyons will be joined by TC. They'll break down the playoff race in the American League, talking about parity in the AL. Runners will be on at first and second here for the Orioles. They are on the board. Their first 2 hits of the game have come here in the 7th inning. Brad Ziegler coming out of the pen. He entered in the 8th inning with a 3-run lead on Saturday against Arizona. Nobody out. Bases jammed. And he struck out all 3 batters that he faced on 10 pitches.
Didn't get much better than that. He had it all going on. They were swinging too. Balls were down. He threw a couple breaking balls. This matchup here with Hardy. Hardy likes that ball in, down and in.
He has struck out twice in this one, and he'll look at a strike.
Oh, that is low paint. It almost rises barely to the corner.
Davis at second. Wieters, who just belted that 2-run single, is on at first. And the 0-1 coming to Hardy. Flared foul on a play.
Boy, he dotted that outside corner twice.
She's 3 for 5, all singles against the Submariner. Kim on deck. He would hit for Reimold.
Frisbee time.
1 man out in the 0-2, and he got him. That would have been a called strike probably anyway. And he strikes him out. Hardy down on strikes for the 3rd time.
Dots the corner twice, and then he throws him a little frisbee. Look, a little sidearm underneath that almost rises a little bit. Swings underneath it. That's some ugly swings we've seen, and especially his last appearance when he punched out the side with nobody out. You see some ugly swings. Weeks swings at a breaking ball that kind of tied him up. Tomas, little sinker down and away out of the zone, and then see the frisbee way outside to Owens.
Hyun-Soo Kim announced as the pinch hitter to hit for Reimold, who went 0 for 2. The South Korean baseball star lines that one to right. That'll drop down for a base hit. Davis will be held at third as the throw comes trickling in. They put the brakes on him there with 2 down.
Wow.
They did not want to test Mookie Betts. There wasn't a great throw.
No.
And we'll see if the Red Sox catch a break. The base is now all filled up.
Wow, you got to second guess the third base coach on this. This ball was hit fairly hard. You see Kim, he hooks this ball. Ball's down, he hooks it on 1 hop to Mookie Betts. And the reputation, this Mookie Betts has got a gun, but it's way offline. He would have scored easily on that. Hindsight's 20/20, but I'll tell you.
Now Bobby Dickerson, their third base coach, decided to hold him up. So they're all filled up for Adam Jones, who has gone hitless tonight. Kim coming off the bench and lashed a single, but nothing to show for it.
He gets a good look at it. It's all about Mookie Betts. He's afraid of Mookie Betts, period. That's all it comes down to. But if that throw is online, he's out at the plate.
And the first pitch outside for ball 1. So guess what? For Brad Ziegler, they're loaded again.
What new?
He got out of that jam incredibly against Arizona. Can he do it again here? Although now they're a 2 down. And a 1-0 to Jones. He missed for ball 2. 3-2. Red Sox clinging to the lead.
All of a sudden, Jones is patient. What's going on?
Ziegler with a 2-0. Right through everybody. It gets right back to Leon, and no one can advance. That struck the brick back there.
Hit it flush, came straight back. I mean, perfectly flush. If it hits the other angle, it shoots one way or the other. This is amazing because it's got some hair on it because he barely gets a glove on it. Look, that ball turned around, came right back to him.
That was ball 3, however.
That was a whiff.
Big time.
That's a wild, that's a pass ball. That ball didn't hit the ground.
Here comes the 3-0 pitch to Jones. And in there for a strike. Maybe a generous call there.
Ooh.
3-1.
Well, they're looking for it down there. The umpire with that little sinker ball, he's looking for it there, and he painted it. You got to do it again. If I'm Jones, I'm taking.
And he walked it. And that's going to force in a run. Here comes Davis finally, and that will tie the game at 3-3. Jones picks up the RBI by taking ball 4. And here comes Carl Willis out of the dugout.
Adam Jones walks. Has he ever been patient like that in his life?
He was ultra patient there.
I mean, the first 2 pitches to Jones weren't close, but I've seen him swing at anything. I think they're both little sliders, right? A little slider there, way outside. Both of them non-competitive pitches. And then that one just got away from Jones. Excuse me, got away from Leone, and then he painted him, and then just a little bit too low. Good at bat by Jones. You got to tip your hat.
It's only
to
the
a guy that's
30th,
so aggressive.
only the 30th time he's walked all year, though, to your point.
Right.
So they reloaded for Schoop, another home run hitter. And we're starting over again, a 3-3 tie, but big trouble here. He's hit 18 homers last time up. He was robbed by Pedroia with a terrific diving play in center field. 2 down, and all loaded up. And Ziegler's first one is swung on and fouled at the plate for strike 1.
This guy doesn't. This guy swings at everything. Got a good pitch to hit there, though.
He does have a grand slam this season. He's got Wieters at third, Kim at second, Jones at first. The 0-1. He had a notion, but he stayed away. They do appeal, but no swing, says Adam Hamari.
Boy, if it's in the vicinity, this guy's hacking.
Robbie Ross loosening in the Sox pen. And the 1-1 from Ziegler. Popped him up, foul back out of play.
Boy, that ball was spinning right down the middle.
Walks have been a big factor in this inning, haven't they? The Red Sox pitching staff has walked 3 men here in the 7th.
Barnes kind of ran out of gas a little bit there in his 3rd inning of work. Ziegler just got away with a hanging slider.
And the 1-2. He waves and misses, and down he goes, and they leave him loaded. But they also get 3 runs in the inning as we go to the 8th. We're tied 3-3 in Baltimore. to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Got a brand new ball game here in Baltimore. We're tied up 3-3 as the Orioles fight their way back. They were getting no hit into the 7th inning. Now they have 3 hits. Walks played a very active role in their recovery in the 7th. So we go to the 8th, tied 3 apiece, and they're going to bring on Brock. Brett Brock is 7-1 with a 1.34 ERA. He's been very, very tough. Does not give up many hits.
Well, this guy is a star. Literally, he made the All-Star team as a setup guy. Hard to do.
David Ortiz to lead off here in the 8th. He's walked twice and struck out. Then it's Betts and Bradley. Mookie Betts accounting for the Red Sox runs with a 3-run homer in the 5th inning. 2-0.
Kind of a funky delivery there by Brock. He gets it up there, though. It's hot. That ball's hot down there.
Neither starter went deep. Giovanni Gallardo only went 5 innings before he departed. In there for a strike.
Kind of drops down a little bit and then comes back up, and a little deception going on there with that 95.
Ortiz has gotten him for a home run. The 2-1. 2-2.
With some life to that ball, isn't it? The ball explodes.
Mid-90s. Mookie Betts next.
This is not a straight fastball. This ball explodes. Watch this ball go off inside. He misses that ball by a lot.
It's a tough bullpen, anchored by Zach Britton. Line shot into the shift and mishandled by Schoop. It gets underneath him. No throw to first base. I thought for a moment that the right fielder Davis might come up and gone. He did not. And Schoop had that one eat him up. And the Red Sox have a base runner. We'll see how they rule on this.
Boy, Schoop thinking about that strikeout takes his act out to set that. This is a stone error by Schoop to me, even though he hit it on the nose. You see the 2 fastballs, one sinking, one straight, one in the inside corner, one takes off inside, and then he gets a fastball middle. He smokes this ball. Look at Ortiz didn't even leave the box. He thought he was out. Schoop kind of nonchalantly goes down to get it and goes by him.
They're going to rule that a base hit for Big Papi. And here's Betts again.
Look at that fastball just take off. This ball has got to be caught. He tried to catch it in the air and the ball went underneath his glove. A little top spin. I guess it's got to be a hit when you mess it up and you're midway in the outfield.
Yeah. As you said, David thought for sure it would be caught or the play would be made on. There's a swing, a high deep drive. Left field. Backing up, Kim to the corner. Ho, ho, ho! Mookie Betts against the Orioles. They have no answer. A 2-run shot, and the Red Sox are back in the lead. He is ridiculous against them.
I don't know what to say.
Goodness gracious.
This is insane. What he's done at Camden Yards this year. Fastball in, leaves it middle, but meanwhile he's so quick, and as soon as he sparks this off, you think it's gone. A little at the end of the bat, so it doesn't get way out of here, but every time he sets one off here, it's gone.
Jackie Bradley now. So at Camden Yards so far this season, he's had a 3-homer game and two two-homer games.
That's ridiculous. It just is sick. The ball barely got out. I think he got it at the end of the bat, but whew.
And he has once again taken over the club lead in home runs. A ground ball sharply hit, but Schoop, bit of a bobble, will make the play. And Jackie Bradley is 0 for 4. Well, this is astonishing what he does to Baltimore. Look at this. In 11 games, 8 home runs and 17 RBIs, hitting .426.
God,
And it's gotten to the point, Dennis, and you brought this up, they won't even send a runner when he's playing the outfield to test his arm.
It's like it's Mookie. He does everything. Don't even.
Wow.
Wow.
One out, Sandy Leon the batter. Red Sox ahead 5-3. All the runs for the Red Sox, of course, driven in by Mookie Betts.
7 home runs in 3 games.
I don't know if I've ever seen anything quite like that against one team in a short run of games.
No, not at all. I've never seen it.
You know, over a whole season, yeah. Goodness, the 0-2.
This crowd is stunned. You know, they're all fired up. They just tied the game up 3-3. Momentum shifted big time, and Mookie turned it around.
They've seen it before. Down into the dirt, made him skip a bit. Travis Shaw on deck.
And this is a guy on the mound that doesn't give up anything. The league's hitting a $175 off this kid.
$26,014, most of them in stunned silence right now. And that is in there for strike 3. Caught him looking. Mookie Betts homering in the 5th inning for a 3-run shot, and in the 8th inning a 2-run shot. Tomorrow at 6:30, don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live presented by DCU. Tim Wakefield, TC, and Steve Lyons preview David Price's start tomorrow against the Orioles. DCU Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? Travis Shaw now. He has walked twice and hit into a double play.
I mean, you had to vote for the MVP right this second. There's your man. Without right this second.
Yeah.
I don't care about Altuve or not. I mean, really.
There's nobody in Red Sox Nation who argues that point.
No.
And you're hearing a lot more national scribes and national broadcasters talk about Mookie at the top of the list. Even more so at this moment for MVP. Foul away.
I mean, it just seems so easy. I said that before. The game seems so easy to him. He's so athletic. He plays right field to me like he's been there for 10 years. He's got the respect already. They think he can, you know, he's got a great arm.
Heck, he's got 28 homers and 89 RBIs in the middle of August.
Right.
He spent most of the season as a leadoff man.
Hello.
Swinging a miss, strike 3. The Red Sox are back in front. Mookie has struck again. Xfinity, the Red Sox are back in front because of Mookie Betts. who has homered twice in this one and driven in 5 runs. And get this now, he's played 5 games this season in Baltimore. He's hit 7 homers with 13 RBIs in this ballpark. Machado leading things off by looking to strike bottom half of the 8th inning. Actually been very few hits in this game. The Red Sox only have 6 and Baltimore just 3. Brad Ziegler staying on. Run a bunt toward third along line, a foul by Machado. I don't think the Red Sox mind him bunting.
No, not at all, although it's a 2-run game.
He has gone 0 for 3. He's hit 26 home runs. He'll be followed by Trumbo and then Pierce. So a difficult part of the order, certainly the first 2 guys. A 5-3 Boston lead. Red Sox with a chance to get into a first place tie tonight in the AL East. And if the Yankees hang on and beat Toronto, that'll be a 3-way tie. A 3-horse race. Popped up. Is it playable? Leon heading over toward the Red Sox dugout, but it's on the roof. Fans, don't miss NESN Live weekdays at 5:30 on NESN. Get your daily dose of news on your favorite New England sports teams. NESN Live presented by Cross Insurance. And a hard-throwing Michael Gibbons working in their bullpen. He's taking on a more active role with the injury to O'Day, who's on their DL. Here's the 0-2. Liner and pass Bogarts off in the left center field. Machado takes a big turn as Jackie Bradley whips the throw back in. So a solid single by Machado.
Ziegler just can't get that frisbee to go all the way across. That's when they swing and miss it. He's thrown 2 back-to-back for a strike. That's why he gets good wood on this ball. Rifles it right by Bogey out there. But you see, it's just sort of spinning. Doesn't have the kind of break, but it ended the bat. But Machado goes out there and gets it. Line drive center field.
The thought of the home run is always lurking when you take on the Orioles, and Trumbo first and foremost. 34 of those, but he's gone 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. He takes ball 1.
Ziegler kind of jumps at you with that sidearm delivery underneath. Laredo Johnson, whatever you want to call it.
He's always gotten a lot of double plays all throughout his career as he fires in a strike. And looking for one right now. Nobody out, a man at first.
Careful with that slider. I don't like it tonight. A little ground ball double play would be pretty.
Trumbo would be a candidate. Pierce on deck. 2-1. Now Zach Britton, their closer, is working as well. He's what, a perfect 37?
Yeah,
for 37.
He's up in the branches, way up there. Nobody can get to him.
He's been talked about as a Cy Young candidate. The 2-1. Bogarts sliding stab to Pedroia, 1 on the first, and got him. Double play.
That's what I'm talking about. You watch Bogey go on down to 2 knees right here. All he's trying to do is make sure he gets this thing. This is a weird double play. The third hop, look at him on 2 knees. Close play at first, but all he had to do was just get it to him. Didn't catch it exactly clean. It's kind of a weird way to set up. He wanted to make sure. You don't see that very often, do you? Double play ball set with the shortstop on 2 knees.
No, sir. Making sure is right. So now the base is empty and Pierce the batter. He's 1 for 2 with an infield single and a walk. He scored 1 of the 3 runs in the 7th when the Orioles came from 3 runs down to tie it. Then the top of the 8th inning, Mookie Betts came up to bat again and did it again. Incredibly enough, his 2nd home run of this ball game. How are they going to pitch to him moving forward the rest of the season?
Away.
Away. damage he's done to them. The 1-1. That one got him.
Yeah.
So he's a little bit off tonight.
Yeah, he's sort of like,
after he was so brilliant the other night.
he's yanking some balls low and away, and then you see this. I think it's, I don't know what this is. 76. Once again, just a misfire.
Here comes John Farrell. He's had to piece it together tonight after Rodriguez had to leave the game due to injury, a hamstring, when he was so brilliant early. So that'll do it for Brad this evening. Robbie Ross coming out of the bullpen. They want him for Davis, a lefty-lefty duel. 2 down, bottom of the 8th. Red Sox 5, Orioles 3, and we'll have more in a moment. Davis gets you caught up on the NHL offseason with a brand new episode of Bruins Summer Face-Off Live. That's Thursday night at 6:30. The new pitcher is Robbie Ross, coming on 2-2, a 3.80 ERA as he replaces Brad Ziegler. Brought in to face Chris Davis, the slugging outfielder, first baseman, DH, who incidentally is 3 for 6 with a home run against him.
Go figure.
So this has some danger to it. He's also walked him a couple of times. Red Sox in the lead, 5-3 here in the last half of the 8th inning, but there are 2 out. Pierce at first base after he was hit by a pitch. They'll play Davis to pull, of course, and that means that Shaw is right on top of the line, and now they're going to bring him in and have him play on the bag.
Yeah, you can't let the runner get off. Give him second base. I hope Robbie's got his control tonight.
First one to Davis. Misses for ball 1. He has walked twice. Davis has. He's also scored a run and struck out. A light hitting season for Davis at .219, but the home runs are still a big issue for opponents. 24 of those. Fastball outside to make it 2-0.
Once again, you really don't know what you're going to get from Robbie control-wise from appearance to appearance. This crowd is so, they're saying nothing. I can't believe they're not into this game. They're like still can't get over that home run.
Breaking ball drops in there for a called strike. Yeah, they have been mookied.
Right. Why are they not saying anything? Hello, tying runs at the plate.
About 26,000 here tonight in Baltimore. The 2-1 from the lefty. Now he's gone to 3-1. And now he has to throw him a strike.
Yeah, this is the scary pitch, the 3-1 pitch when you got to throw a strike. And it's not going to be a breaking ball. It is a breaking ball.
How about
Go
that?
figure.
Caught a lot of the plate too.
Yes, it did.
Right down the middle.
Oh my goodness. I guess he fooled him throwing a breaking ball, but it was right there. Ooh, my goodness. He almost touched that off. hanger right there, middle. Oh.
So to count 3-2, runner at first, Pierce will be off to the races.
Fastball away, dot him.
Davis still alive. Wieters on deck. A 2-run lead for the Red Sox late here in the 8th.
Robbie Ross, he just heaves that thing, man. You don't know where it's going.
Davis, a guy who will take ball 4 despite a ton of strikeouts. He walks a lot. Here goes the runner. There's a looping liner, but he hooked it foul very softly into the stands. He'll do it again. The Red Sox will have due up in the 9th inning Brock Holt, Andrew Benintendi, and Dustin Pedroia. Against the Baltimore bullpen. Ross says yes. Runner goes 3-2. Cut on and missed. He struck him out. Ross comes through in the clutch. We go to the 9th inning. 5-3 Red Sox. Fans, it is time to vote for the Globies, Boston's biggest sports bash. The Boston Globe sports writers have nominated many of your favorite athletes and sports moments. Cast your vote now at theglobies.com. The Globies presented by Mercedes-Benz. The Red Sox have a 5-3 lead as we go to the 9th inning. Ross pitching out of trouble there with a big strikeout of Davis.
He got the job done, didn't he?
Did.
3-1 breaking ball, 3-2 breaking ball. And then he punches him out on a breaking ball middle, but it just had him off stride.
So the Orioles go back to their bullpen and bring on a right-hander, Michael Gibbons, who ranks 2nd among their relievers with 67 strikeouts. Taking on Brock Holt, then Benintendi, and then Pedroia. Rocketed foul by Holt, who jumped all over that one, a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Star in this one once again. Well, we're in Baltimore, so it has to be Mookie Betts. Although pretty much anywhere these days, the way he's been swinging it, it's Mookie Betts.
Start of the season.
Lined in the left, that's going to settle down for a base hit. So Brock Holt is on for the first time tonight. Mookie with a pair of home runs again in Baltimore.
See a couple of missed locations. Gallardo, the first home run, the 3-run shot, got a curveball. He wanted it outside. He left it out over the middle, and you see him go down there and get it on. Hits this ball on a line 400 feet.
3-run homer and a 2-run homer in this one. The damage he has done at Oriole Park at Camden Yards amazing over 5 games. as Holt dives back into first. Now you're hearing a lot of Sox fans starting to make noise. Well, they swung on and missed. That might be one reason why the crowd is so muted.
Yeah, because they said nothing when Davis was up.
Benintendi 1 for 3 with a double and a run. Got the Red Sox offense going in the 5th inning against Gallardo. That fastball at 94 right through there.
He's got a weird arm angle too.
Pedroia next. The Orioles will have the bottom third of their order due up in the bottom of the 9th. And cut and a miss, and down he goes, strike 3, 95 on the gun.
Boy, that ball's hot coming out of his hand from about 3/4. It kind of rises. Once again, Betts in the second home run, another mislocation by Brock. He's trying to get that ball in. Once again, yanks it across the plate. He doesn't exactly get all of it, but he got enough of it, especially here in Camden Yards. What, 353 feet? That's good enough.
Dustin Pedroia now, the wave and a miss. And it is Craig Kimbrel warming up again in the Red Sox bullpen. He threw 28 pitches in Cleveland yesterday. That was a hang on to something save.
Yes, it was.
But he is ready to go again. Brock Holt on with one down and knocked foul out of play. Talk so much about Mookie Betts against the Orioles, but Dustin Pedroia has always hit them. 327 lifetime against Baltimore. Since moving to that leadoff spot, he's hitting about 500 since last Wednesday.
Been hitting 327 off the Orioles for 10 years now.
That has included 15 home runs here. And the 0-2 pitch from Givens. Tried to serve that to right, but he looped it foul out of play.
Not real comfortable swinging off of Givens. You can tell why. He's got that delivery, kind of makes you open up, step in the bucket a little bit.
You know, Monday, such a good win for the Red Sox for a lot of reasons in Cleveland, but it was a one-run victory, and the Red Sox haven't won many of those. They're 26-27 in games decided by 1 or 2 runs this season. May have an opportunity to win another one on consecutive days. Yankees still leading Toronto. They're in the 8th inning, 6-4 in the Bronx. Tried to hold up, pitch outside, and he swung and missed according to first base umpire Hamari on appeal. And Pedroia can't believe it as he strikes out.
He started to go at it. It was kind of an ugly attempt. I don't think he went. We'll get a better look at this thing.
John Farrell coming out just to make sure that Pedroia makes it all the way back to the dugout, shaking his head.
He didn't go, but he carried his bat a long ways.
He still can't believe it, but he's rung up 2 down. Bogaerts now 1 for 3 with a single, a walk, and a run scored. 5-3 Red Sox here in the 9th inning. And that'll be ball 1 on Xander. He continues to fight. Looking for a multi-hit game, which would be a great sign for Bogaerts.
He's still perplexed over there.
1-0 pitch and a bounding ball fair. Machado, even with the bag, will throw on to get him. And that retires the side. We'll see if the Red Sox have enough. Kimbrel for the 2nd straight game coming on. The Red Sox in the 9th ahead 5-3. inning here in Baltimore. Game 1. The Red Sox with a 5-3 lead. Not many hits in this one. Kimbrel coming out of the pen after walking the wild side yesterday in Cleveland. He did get his 20th save, working 1 inning. He held a 1-run lead after allowing the first 2 batters to reach with nobody out, and then retired the final 3. So that was a walk on a high wire.
The thing about Kimbrel, I mean, you know he's going to punch guys out. The problem is the walks. You're just not really sure control-wise. And since he's came off the disabled list, he's pitched 5 innings. He struck out 10 guys. So how do you get on a guy that's pitched like that? But the walks, that 4 walks that one appearance scared you a little bit. And yesterday it wasn't exactly clean, but he's got a 2-run lead. He'll be just fine today.
Last 5 years, he's been one of the best closers in Major League Baseball. In and out his first year with the Red Sox, but trying to find a groove. And Wieters the first man against him here in the 9th. And the first pitch is not called a strike. It's ball 1. Wieters has gone 1 for 3. Had a huge hit in the 7th inning, a 2-run single. When they battled from 3-0 down to tie it, then the Red Sox went back in front on a 2-run homer by Mookie Betts in the 8th inning. Cross for a strike. So 1-1 on the switch hitting Wieters. He'll be followed by Hardy and then Kim. And the 1-1. That disappeared on him.
Oh, well, that breaking ball is unhittable. Everybody geared up for that 96 to 98, and he twists his wrist, and you got no chance. That ball's biting down and in. You can't catch up to the high fastball, and you sure can't hit that. You got to pick one.
1-2, cut on and missed. He strikes him out. Put him away quickly. So the leadoff man will not get on in this game against Kimbrel.
I mean, that breaking ball is just ridiculously filthy. I mean, look at this thing. This thing is biting down and in. If you get 2 strikes on somebody, they got no chance.
So he fans the first man, and now Hardy, who has fanned 3 times. In the 3rd inning, in the 5th inning, and again in the 7th inning. One man away, and the pitch. 97 for strike 1. Hardy was injured early in the season. He missed 6 weeks because of a fractured foot when he fouled the ball off his foot. Line to right field, it hangs up. Betts giving it a good look, makes the catch. 2 fast outs.
He's got a nice way to get this save, hopefully, but not that many pitches. It's hard to not throw very many pitches when guys swing and miss a lot. You don't put the ball in play.
Now trying to end it on Kim, the South Korean baseball star, left-hand hitter. With the bases empty and 2 down here in the bottom of the 9th, 5-3 Boston. Red Sox looking for a 5th consecutive win. That'll be ball 1. He's had a couple of pitches here that could have been called strikes that were not. Adam Jones on deck. The 1-0. He fouls it back. Kimbrel trying to pin down save number 21.
That velocity seems to always be there too.
Toronto caught the Yankees in the 8th inning. They're tied 6-6. Yankees had a big lead, but they have blown that. And a 1-1 from Kimbrel. Nice backhand stab by Holt. He's up and gunning. He gets it.
Big play.
The Red Sox have won 5 in a row. 5-3 the final score over the Orioles. A 1-2-3 for Kimbrel in the 9th inning. In another show at Camden Yards that belonged to Mookie Betts with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs.
That's it. Then that's all about Mookie right here. I mean, almost startling it to us and to this crowd. He shut this crowd up. They were so quiet after that 2-run home run. That's 7 against this club.
They've gotten used to seeing that here in Baltimore, TC, as the Red Sox win again.